There's a reason some people seem to radiate confidence, energy, and power every single day. It's not luck, talent, or privilege. It's their daily habits that set them apart. These habits shape their mindset, fuel their body, sharpen their focus, and empower them to move forward, no matter what obstacles they face. And the truth is, you don't need to be extraordinary to become unstoppable. You just need the discipline to repeat small, consistent actions. So today, let's uncover the 7 daily habits that make you truly unstoppable. And more importantly, let's talk about how to integrate them into your life starting now. Waking up with a purpose is not just about setting an alarm and dragging yourself out of bed. It's about rising with a reason, with clarity in your heart and fire in your mind. Every single morning gives you 2 choices: to drift or to direct. When you wake up without intention, you become reactive. You let the day control you. But when you wake up with a mission, you take control of the day. That sense of purpose isn't always dramatic or grand. Sometimes it's as simple as deciding, today, I will make progress. It could mean being present with your family, taking one bold step toward your dream, or choosing to become stronger mentally, physically, or spiritually. Purpose doesn't always have to be loud. It just needs to be clear. Start by asking yourself each morning, why do I want to win today? What matters most today? Write it down. Say out loud, keep it in front of you. This sets your emotional compass. It gives you direction when things feel uncertain. And most importantly, it reminds you that you are not just living. You are leading yourself. Every great day starts with a great reason to rise. Don't let your feet touch the ground until your heart knows why it's getting up. Owning your morning routine means deliberately designing the first part of your day so it sets the rhythm for everything that follows. The first hour after you wake up is the most powerful time of your entire day. It's the foundation upon which your mental, physical, and emotional energy is built. When you begin your day with chaos, rushing, or distraction, it creates a ripple effect that spills into your work, your relationships, and your mindset. But when you take control of your morning, you take control of your life. This is the time to invest in yourself before the world demands your attention. Whether it's a short workout that gets your blood pumping, a moment of silence through meditation, reading a few pages of a powerful book, or even reviewing your goals, these rituals are not luxuries. They are necessities. They sharpen your awareness, increase your confidence, and prepare you to handle pressure without losing your edge. People who are unstoppable never start their day by stumbling into emails or scrolling through distractions. They begin with intention. They protect their mornings like sacred time because they know that how they start will often determine how they finish. A solid morning routine isn't just about productivity. It's about self-respect. It's a declaration that your goals, your health, your mind, and your peace are important enough to be prioritized every single day. Even just 20-30 minutes of disciplined routine in the morning can completely change the trajectory of your day. A crowd ever will. You're not just getting ready for work. You're preparing to conquer everything that stands between you and your next breakthrough. Guarding your focus like a fortress means treating your attention as one of the most valuable resources you have. Because it is. In today's noisy, hyper-connected world, distractions are not just frequent, they are designed to hijack your mind. Notifications, messages, social media, emails, and other people's priorities are all fighting for a piece of your mental real estate. And if you're not intentional, you'll find yourself scattered, busy, and burned out, yet making no real progress. Unstoppable individuals understand this, which is why they protect their focus with fierce discipline. They don't wait to feel motivated or inspired. They create structured time blocks, eliminate distractions, and do deep work in environments that support concentration. Focus is not just about saying yes to what matters. It's about saying no to everything that doesn't. That means having the courage to silence your phone, close unnecessary tabs, log out of distractions, and set clear boundaries with people who might pull you away from your goals. It means giving yourself permission to be unavailable when your mind needs to be fully present. This isn't selfish. It's strategic. ever will, because every moment you allow yourself to be distracted is a moment stolen from your potential. The human brain was not designed to multitask with 1,000 inputs. It thrives when it can channel its full energy into one meaningful task at a time. When you train yourself to focus deeply, you not only become more efficient, you create better work, make clearer decisions, and move faster toward your goals. Unstoppable people treat focus as a sacred ritual. They understand that the ability to concentrate fully is what separates average from elite, busy from productive, and uncertain from unstoppable. When your focus is sharp, your execution becomes powerful. And that's when real transformation begins. Mastering your mind through self-talk is one of the most underrated but powerful habits that set unstoppable people apart. The words you whisper to yourself in moments of pressure, doubt, or fatigue shape your reality more than anything else. Most people don't even realize that they are constantly narrating their lives in their heads. That inner voice can be your greatest coach or your most brutal critic. If left unchecked, it feeds you fear, hesitation, and excuses. But when you take control of it, when you deliberately reshape the language inside your head, you begin to transform your mindset from the inside out. Unstoppable individuals are masters of their self-dialogue. They've trained themselves to speak with strength, clarity, and confidence, especially when things get hard. When their mind whispers, "You're not good enough," they counter with, "I've got this. I've been through worse and I'm still standing." When fear tells them to stop, they respond with courage and persistence. They don't wait for external validation. They build themselves up from within, because they know that before you can win in the world, you have to win the war inside your head. This doesn't happen by accident. It takes conscious effort to rewrite the script. It begins with awareness, catching those moments when your self-talk is disempowering, and then replacing it with something intentional. Instead of saying, "I can't," say, "I will figure it out." Instead of, "This is too hard," say, "This is making me stronger." Over time, these small shifts rewire your thinking and recondition your beliefs. You stop seeing obstacles as permanent and start seeing them as part of your process. The truth is, every major decision, every bold move, every comeback starts with a conversation in your mind. The people who achieve greatness don't avoid negative thoughts, they dominate them. They don't ignore fear, they speak directly to it. They turn their internal voice into a weapon of motivation, not destruction. Because when your self-talk is rooted in power, belief, and truth, nothing external can break your momentum. Doing the hard things first is a mindset, a strategy, and a discipline that separates the unstoppable from the average. Most people start their day with the easy tasks. The quick wins, the comfortable routines, the low-effort actions that make them feel productive, but don't actually move them forward. This creates a false sense of progress. But the truly unstoppable know that real progress lies on the other side of discomfort. They understand that the most important tasks are often the most difficult, the ones that require energy, courage, and deep focus. That's why they make it a non-negotiable habit to tackle the hardest, most meaningful challenge of the day right at the beginning. When you do the hard thing first, you reclaim your mental bandwidth. You free yourself from the weight of procrastination. Instead of carrying that task in the back of your mind all day, it gets done. And that builds momentum. It's not just about checking a box. It's about training your mind to run toward resistance, not away from it. Because every time you face the thing you'd rather avoid, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your excuses. And that belief compounds. There's also a science to this approach. Willpower is highest in the early part of the day, before decision fatigue sets in. That's when your brain is sharpest, your focus is cleanest, and your energy is most stable. Using that peak energy to scroll your phone or answer easy emails is like using high-octane fuel to wash windows. It's wasted potential. The unstoppable protect their prime time and use it to attack their most critical priorities. They don't wait for inspiration. They lean into discipline. They understand that consistency in doing hard things builds not just results, but identity. It creates a deep-rooted sense of resilience and inner strength. This habit also shifts how you see problems. Instead of being intimidated by difficulty, you begin to crave it. Why? Because difficulty becomes the gateway to growth. The more you do hard things, the more capable you feel. The more capable you feel, the more confidence you carry. That's when you become dangerous. Not because you never face struggle, but because you've made struggle your training ground. Fueling your body intelligently is not just a fitness principle, it's a life principle. The quality of your energy directly affects the quality of your actions, decisions, emotions, and outcomes. You can't expect to operate at a high level mentally if your body is running on low-quality fuel. Unstoppable individuals treat their body like a high-performance machine. They understand that what they eat, how they move, and how they rest are not separate from their success. They are the foundation of it. Food isn't just about satisfying hunger or cravings. It's about fueling your focus, clarity, mood, and stamina. Highly driven people don't rely on energy drinks, sugar crashes, or fast food fixes to get them through the day. They prioritize real, nutrient-dense food that sustains them. They hydrate strategically because they know even mild dehydration can impact concentration and performance. They aren't obsessed with dieting. They're obsessed with vitality. Their relationship with food is built on awareness, not guilt. They choose what serves their future, not what satisfies the moment. Movement is another essential part of this equation. Daily physical activity, whether it's a gym session, a run, stretching, or a long walk, isn't just about aesthetics or burning calories. It's about sharpening the mind. Exercise releases endorphins, increases blood flow to the brain, improves mood, and reduces stress. More importantly, it builds mental toughness. Every time you push through one more rep, one more mile, one more challenge, you reinforce to yourself that you are capable of doing hard things. That's not just physical power. That's psychological resilience being trained in real time. Then there's rest, the often neglected pillar of energy. Sleep is not a luxury or something to be sacrificed for productivity. It is essential for brain function, emotional regulation, memory, and recovery. The unstoppable protect their sleep because they know it amplifies every other habit they practice. They create nighttime routines that prepare their minds and bodies to truly recharge. They don't glorify burnout. They prioritize recovery because being tired isn't a badge of honor. Being ready, sharp, and energized is. Ultimately, fueling your body intelligently is an act of self-respect. It's a daily message you send to yourself: I matter. My goals matter. My future matters. When your physical system is strong, everything else becomes easier. Decisions become clearer. Discipline becomes more natural. Confidence becomes more stable. Your body is not separate from your mission. It is the vehicle that carries your potential. Treat it like it's sacred, and it will return that investment in power, endurance, and longevity. Learning every single day is a defining trait of those who become unstoppable. It's not about formal education or collecting degrees. It's about adopting a mindset of continuous growth. In a world that is changing faster than ever, what you knew yesterday may not be enough tomorrow. That's why the most driven, disciplined individuals commit to learning as a daily, non-negotiable habit. They aren't content with what they already know. They are hungry to evolve. Every day is a new opportunity to sharpen their thinking, gain new perspectives, and level up their skills. This daily learning doesn't have to come from long hours of studying or reading dozens of books. It's about consistent exposure to new ideas. It could be 10 pages from a book that challenges your worldview, a podcast that offers fresh strategies, a conversation with someone who thinks differently, or even journaling your thoughts to gain self-awareness. It's about being intentional with what you consume and ensuring that some part of each day is spent feeding your mind with value. The unstoppable treat their mind like elite athletes treat their body. It needs daily training, not occasional effort. But beyond gaining knowledge, the real power lies in applying what you learn. Unstoppable people don't just collect information, they turn it into action. They extract lessons from their experiences, reflect on failures, and pivot quickly. They are always seeking better ways to think, solve, lead, and live. And because of this, they stay ahead. not just in skills but in mindset. While others wait for external changes, the unstoppable are constantly reinventing themselves from within. Their learning is not random. It is intentional and aligned with their goals. Another key component of daily learning is humility. To truly grow, you have to admit that you don't know it all. You have to be willing to be a beginner again, even when you're experienced. That takes strength, not weakness. The people who become exceptional are the ones who are never too proud to ask questions, seek feedback, or admit when they're wrong. They realize that every expert was once a novice, and every master started as a student. They don't see learning as a chore. They see it as a privilege and a strategy for survival in an ever-evolving world. The world rewards those who stay curious. It opens doors for those who are prepared. It elevates those who continue to build themselves, brick by brick, through knowledge, insight, and relentless self-education. When you commit to learning every day, you're not just gaining information, you're shaping your identity. You become someone who adapts faster, thinks deeper, and acts wiser. That's not just a habit. That's a personal revolution in motion. Visualizing your ideal future every single day is a practice that separates those who merely exist from those who lead their lives with intention and power. It's not about wishful thinking or daydreaming. It's a mental rehearsal that programs your mind for success. The human brain doesn't know the difference between something vividly imagined and something real. That's why top performers, elite athletes, successful entrepreneurs, and unstoppable individuals use visualization as a daily tool, because it prepares their mind and body to act as if the outcome is already happening. They don't leave their future up to chance. They create it first in their mind, and then bring it into reality through action. When you see your future clearly, the life you want, the person you want to become, the level you want to reach, it becomes more than just a hope. It becomes a plan. Visualizing daily builds emotional connection to your goals. It fuels desire, belief, and determination. You begin to move with conviction because you've already lived the moment in your mind. You've already seen the speech delivered, the business launched, the body transformed, the fear conquered. And because your subconscious mind believes what it sees repeatedly, you start aligning your behavior with that vision. You take more risks. You avoid distractions. You become more decisive, not because you're pretending, but because you've trained yourself to expect success. Visualization also sharpens your focus. Instead of drifting through the day reacting to problems, you carry a clear picture of where you're headed. That mental image becomes a compass, a filter through which you evaluate your choices. Does this align with my vision? Does this habit bring me closer to the life I'm building? This clarity helps you say no to things that don't serve you and yes to the things that demand your growth. And the more you practice it, the more your self-image transforms. You stop seeing yourself as someone who wants success and start seeing yourself as someone who is living it. This shift in identity is powerful, because when your mind believes you are already that person, your actions naturally rise to meet that standard. But visualization isn't just about the end result. It's about the process. The unstoppable don't just picture the outcome. They visualize the grind. They see themselves putting in the work, pushing through obstacles, showing up when it's hard. That's what makes their vision strong. It's not just shiny and perfect. It's real and gritty. They mentally walk through the setbacks and still see themselves standing. That resilience builds mental toughness long before the real challenge arrives. This habit takes only a few minutes each day, but its effects are profound. It conditions your mind to seek opportunity, stay resilient, and persevere with purpose. Because the future doesn't just happen to the unstoppable. It's something they rehearse, believe in, and build one thought at a time. Keeping promises to yourself is the foundation of true confidence and personal power. While many people associate confidence with natural talent, charisma, or external achievements, the truth is far deeper. It's built quietly in the background through small acts of discipline, repeated consistently. Every time you set a goal and follow through, you send a signal to your brain, I can trust myself. And that trust, that inner reliability, becomes the bedrock of unstoppable momentum. When you don't follow through on the things you say to yourself, whether it's waking up on time, finishing a task, or committing to a habit, it erodes your self-respect. You start doubting your own word. And if you can't trust yourself, how can you expect to feel strong, grounded, and in control? Unstoppable individuals protect their personal integrity like their life depends on it. Because in many ways it does. Their word is not just a promise to the world, it's a contract with themselves. They understand that confidence isn't built through loud declarations. It's built quietly, by doing what they said they would do, even when no one's watching. They train their mind to believe that when they say something will get done, it gets done. That level of inner alignment creates unshakable certainty. It's not arrogance. It's self-assurance born from lived experience. This habit begins with the smallest of commitments. Getting up at the time you said you would. Finishing the workout you promised yourself. Sticking to the daily reading or journaling habit. These may seem insignificant on their own, but stacked over time, they build a powerful identity. The identity of someone who follows through, someone who can be counted on, especially by themselves. On the flip side, constantly breaking promises to yourself leads to frustration, guilt, and a fragmented sense of self. You start questioning your ability to achieve anything bigger because the little things keep slipping. That doubt slowly infects your motivation, your belief, and your courage. The unstoppable guard against this by setting clear, realistic promises and honoring them. If they say they'll work out 4 times a week, they do it. If they commit to writing every morning, it happens. Even if only for 5 minutes. They know the size of the action doesn't matter nearly as much as the consistency behind it. Each completed commitment is a deposit into their confidence account, and over time, it compounds into a sense of control and mastery that can't be faked. When you consistently keep your word to yourself, something powerful shifts. Your goals stop feeling like distant dreams, and they begin to feel like inevitable outcomes. You no longer wonder whether you're capable. You know you are, because you've already proven it to yourself 100 times in 100 small ways. That kind of belief is what fuels discipline on days when motivation is gone. It's what makes you get up one more time after you've failed. It's what makes you resilient when life throws chaos at you. Because deep down, you've built a relationship with yourself that is solid, tested, and unbreakable. Tracking progress, not perfection, is a mindset that the unstoppable live by, because they understand that perfection is a myth that traps people in paralysis, while progress is the truth that propels them forward. So many individuals get stuck waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect version of themselves before they begin. But the truth is, waiting for perfection is the enemy of growth. It convinces you that you're not ready, that what you've done isn't good enough, and that every mistake is a failure rather than a lesson. That's why those who are truly unstoppable focus relentlessly on forward motion, no matter how small. They understand that progress, no matter how incremental, is always more powerful than standing still. When you track progress, you take the focus off comparison and put it back where it belongs, on your own journey. You measure yourself not against someone else's success, but against who you were yesterday. And that shift creates freedom. It gives you permission to improve, to evolve, to build momentum even when things aren't perfect. It lets you celebrate effort, discipline, and resilience, the real ingredients of success. You start recognizing that every step forward, every small win, every lesson learned through trial and error is part of your becoming. It's no longer about being flawless. It's about being consistent. Unstoppable people have systems in place to track their progress. They journal their actions, reflect on their habits, review their weekly goals, and take note of where they improved. They don't wait for massive breakthroughs to feel proud. They feel pride in sticking to their routines, overcoming moments of resistance, or simply showing up when it would have been easier to quit. These micro victories build psychological momentum. They're like fuel stations on a long journey. giving you the energy and belief to keep pushing even when the road gets tough. This habit also strengthens resilience. When you focus on progress, setbacks don't destroy you. They become data. You can look at your path objectively and say, this is what worked, this is what didn't, and here's how I'll adjust. That mindset of course correction is what keeps people moving, even through failure. Because failure isn't the opposite of success, stagnation is. Unstoppable people fail forward. They use missteps as stepping stones, not as reasons to give up. They don't demand perfection from themselves. They demand persistence. Tracking progress also rewires your relationship with discipline. When you see the results of your effort building over time, even gradually, it reinforces the belief that your actions matter. You start showing up not out of obligation, but because you've proven that consistency leads to change. It creates a loop of trust, motivation, and identity. The more you track, the more progress you see. The more progress you see, the more you believe in your ability. And the more you believe, the more unstoppable you become. At its core, this principle reminds you that success is not a one-time leap. It's the accumulation of 1,000 small steps, measured honestly and executed consistently. It's not about waiting until you've arrived. It's about honoring the journey every single day. Surrounding yourself with energy, not excuses, is one of the most transformative shifts you can make on your path to becoming unstoppable. The people you spend time with, whether consciously or unconsciously, influence the way you think, the standards you hold, the language you use, and the momentum you create. If your environment is filled with negativity, low expectations, and constant excuses, it slowly begins to erode your vision. You start doubting your goals, downplaying your ambition, and compromising on your standards. Not because you've changed, but because your surroundings don't support growth. Unstoppable individuals are deeply intentional about who and what they allow into their mental and emotional space. They don't keep company with people who complain about everything but change nothing. They avoid energy drainers, excuse makers, and those who see every challenge as a reason to quit. Instead, they seek out environments that elevate them. They connect with others who are striving for more, who challenge them to think bigger, push harder, and stay accountable. They place themselves around ambition, discipline, and drive, because they know that proximity is power. This doesn't mean cutting off everyone who isn't perfect. It means becoming aware of how certain people and spaces affect your energy. Do you feel empowered or drained after spending time with someone? Do the conversations you have expand your mind or keep you stuck in the same loop? Are you surrounded by people who reinforce excuses or by people who inspire action? These are the hard but necessary questions that the unstoppable ask themselves regularly. They take full responsibility for curating their inner circle, understanding that it's not just about relationships. It's about alignment with purpose. Energy is contagious. Attitudes are contagious. Habits are contagious. And when you consistently expose yourself to people who are committed, focused, and operating at a high level, it raises your standards without force. You begin to adopt their habits, mirror their discipline, and absorb their belief systems. You begin to expect more from yourself, not because you're being pressured, but because excellence becomes the norm. This is the hidden advantage of choosing the right environment. It makes growth feel natural and excuses feel unacceptable. The unstoppable also create their own high-energy space, especially when the world around them isn't supportive. They build mental fortresses through books, podcasts, powerful routines, and positive input. They fill their day with inspiration, strategy, and challenge, not just entertainment and distraction. They understand that even if their current surroundings aren't ideal, they can control what they feed their mind. They become their own source of energy when needed, but they also never stop seeking out those who can elevate them. At the end of the day, your environment will either fuel your greatness or feed your limitations. The unstoppable don't leave this to chance. They design it with intention. They are willing to walk alone if necessary, because they know it's better to walk alone toward purpose than be surrounded by comfort that holds them back. They choose energy over excuses every single time, and that choice builds momentum that no obstacle can contain. Ending the day with discipline is a habit that most overlook, yet it plays a critical role in becoming truly unstoppable. While many people collapse into bed, mindlessly scroll through their phones, or binge on noise to escape the stress of the day, those who are disciplined use the final moments of their day to prepare, reflect, and reset. They understand that how you end the day is just as important as how you begin it, because it shapes your recovery, your mindset, and your readiness for tomorrow. The last hour before sleep is a sacred window, and the unstoppable treat it with respect, not laziness. The day doesn't end when work ends. It ends when you've harvested the lessons from it. Unstoppable people don't just live through the day. They study it. They reflect on what went right, what they struggled with, how they showed up, and how they can grow from it. This level of self-awareness isn't just for self-help. It's for strategic improvement. They journal not to vent, but to learn. They review their goals, recalibrate their focus, and track the progress they've made. This creates a cycle of intentional living. They're not drifting from day to day. They're compounding insight and discipline. Equally important is how they prepare for the next day. They don't wait until morning to figure out what matters. They write down their top priorities the night before. They plan their schedule, set intentions, and eliminate unnecessary decisions in advance. This frees up mental energy for what truly matters, allowing them to wake up already knowing what needs to be done. Preparation isn't just a time management hack. It's a mindset of leadership over your own life. When you end your day with clarity, you begin the next with power. The unstoppable also understand the critical role of rest and recovery. They don't glorify burnout or wear exhaustion like a badge of honor. They know that in order to be their best, they must give their body and brain the deep, uninterrupted rest they deserve. That's why they develop nighttime rituals that signal the mind to slow down. They disconnect from screens, dim the lights, practice gratitude or meditation, and allow themselves to truly decompress. They prioritize sleep because they know that fatigue leads to poor decisions, low energy, and a weakened mindset, all of which slow down progress. Ending the day with discipline also means being honest with yourself. Did you live today in alignment with your goals? Did you avoid the distractions you promised you would? Did you honor your word to yourself? This isn't about judgment. It's about course correction. The goal is not perfection, but alignment. The discipline of nightly reflection holds you accountable. It reminds you that each day is an opportunity to live intentionally, and that tomorrow is not a fresh start unless today is fully processed. Unstoppable people don't end the day by running away from it. They face it head on, learn from it, and use it to get stronger. The day ends when the lessons are learned, the plan is set, and the mind is at peace. That's not just a routine. It's a ritual for excellence. It's how you close one chapter with power, so you can start the next one with purpose. So if you truly want to become unstoppable, it won't come from one big breakthrough or a single moment of motivation. It will come from what you choose to do every single day. These habits aren't just actions. They are reflections of your mindset, your values, and your commitment to your future. The difference between those who talk about change and those who live it is consistency. It's the ability to show up, even when it's hard. It's having a vision so clear, a purpose so strong, and a discipline so rooted that nothing, not fear, not failure, not fatigue, can knock you off your path. Build these habits, protect them, strengthen them, and watch how the world starts to respond differently to you. Not because it changed, but because you did. You don't need to wait for permission. You don't need to wait for perfect timing. You just need to decide, today, that you're done being average, that you're ready to build the life, the mindset, and the identity of someone who cannot be stopped. Because once you live like that, there is no going back.